Hi! Have you ever read a history text, and wondered how the people in the text would have told the story, if they were still alive? The modern-day authors of the historical texts one usually reads in school, were not yet alive, when the historical events happened. The authors did their own research, collecting other texts that were written about the events, such as letters, articles, and journals. Then they put everything together into one text. Their account of the events is what we call a third-person account. That means that the author did not experience the events firsthand, but they found out about them from someone else. Let's look at a short third-person account, about what happened in England, back in 878. Alfred was a great king of Wessex, who defeated the Danes and forced them to leave England. After that, Alfred formed a navy fleet of 60 ships. As a result, he was able to keep the peace in Wessex. His son and grandson continued his legacy, and conquered even more lands, extending as far as Scotland. This is a third-person account, written by a modern-day author. The main person the events are about, Alfred, lived a long time ago. The author writes about him from a third-person point of view, using Alfred's name, and the pronoun he. The author gives us a factual overview of the historical events that took place back then, and even the events that followed, because he or she has access to information that King Alfred didn't have, such as that King Alfred's son and grandson were also very successful kings. Now, imagine seeing things from King Alfred's point of view. Alfred's first-person account, such as an entry in his journal, might look like this. The Danes are closing in on Wessex, and I am worried. I am certain that they will attack Wessex, if they get the chance. I will have to strike first. I wonder, how will this end? Will we emerge victorious? As you can see, a first-person account is told by King Alfred himself, using the pronouns I, and we. Alfred was there when the events took place, and he got to experience them firsthand. But his account only gives us insight into one moment in his life. When he wrote the journal entry, Alfred had no way of knowing what was going to happen later. Like, who was going to win the battle against the Danes? And what were Alfred's son and grandson going to go on and achieve? Unlike a third-person account, a first-person account gives us an insight into Alfred's thoughts and feelings. He was worried. He thought the Danes would attack Wessex, and believed he had to strike first. So let's look at the similarities and differences, between a first, and a third-person account. A first-person account is told from the perspective of someone, who was actually part of an event. They use the pronoun I, or we. A first-person account can tell us a lot about the details of the event as it happened, and about the person's own thoughts and feelings. But we don't get a lot of background information, or a wider historical perspective. A third-person account is told from the perspective of someone who was not actually involved in the event. They collected information about the event from sources such as letters, journals, and other people's accounts. They used pronouns such as he, she, and they. A third-person account can give us a lot of background information, and tell us what happened before, and after the event. On the other hand, a third-person account cannot tell us about the feelings and thoughts of the people involved in the events. When we try to learn more about an event, it is very useful to look at both first- and third-person accounts, because they can provide us with different kinds of information. That way, we can get a better understanding of what happened. Have fun learning!